This is a battle in round 3 of the Random Faction New Year's tournament. It's between Victory or Death Scalp Hunter and VLR Wolran. Scalp Hunter got the Nervii and Wolran got Getae. So we weren't able to completely avoid the spams, the barbarian spams in this case. And boy oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, for the Nervii we have 3 Oathsworn in the center. Then we have 2 Fierce Swords on each flank, backed up by Levi Freeman, Celtic Warrior on the extreme flank, 4 Mighty Horse, another Celtic Warrior. For the Getae, I think we have the strangest Getae build I have seen for as long as I can remember. 2 Bow Horse, Dash and Spears, Spear Warriors, a total of 4 Dash and Heavy Bows, Noble Horse, and I kind of see what he's going for here, I think. So skirmish heavy and shock cavalry is not necessarily a bad idea against a barbarian faction on a flat map. But the problem is that he has absolutely no infantry that is going to be able to even do anything against the Getae, the Nervii build. And he has really, with this build, he has no hopes of tying down all the cavalry he needs from Nervii, so he can start kiting the entire game. He only has 4 good shock cavalry units. They will defeat the Mighty Horse, but I don't think they will defeat them in time. He doesn't have the MLG screening capabilities that the Levi Freeman gives the Nervii. So just judging by the builds here, I don't like Getae's chances at all in this matchup. Sure, Nervii is vulnerable, or at least the Fierce Swords are vulnerable to missiles. But they have the Germanic Scout Riders, and they are very nice counters to Bow Horse. Because what you can basically do is you can basically give attack orders on the Bow Horse. Then the very light missile cavalry is actually going to catch up to the Bow Horse because they are light missile cavalry. So the Bow Horse are going to, they're going to run into range of the javelins if they're not careful. Nope, here come the Noble Horse. So a nice redirect there. No, he's pulling away. Smart thing to do because there's so much cavalry support and infantry support nearby. And this is the problem. The infantry dies, the cavalry gets bogged down and dies. What else is going to happen? What's the Getae build going to be able to do? Sure, it can try to kite and throw off a volley, kite and throw off a volley, and that is probably the only thing that this build can do. Kite, fire, kite, fire, kite, fire. Should probably try to do some damage to the general at this point. There's nothing stopping the archers from just moving up and shooting at the general. And since there are 2 lines of spears, these Mighty Horse are not going to be able to make it through. Mighty Horse getting charged by Noble Horse. But these Levi Freemen are so close. Would probably be a good idea to just get the Noble Horsemen out of there. Focusing fire on the Levi Freeman and the Mighty Horse. Probably trying to take out the Mighty Horse. Friendly fire here, probably worth it since... Ooh, the Bow Horse are getting too close to these guys. But they did not throw their javelins. Spears rushing in against the Mighty Horse. But here comes the problem. The infantry of the shock cavalry is going to get bogged down, and the infantry of Getae is just going to evaporate under the swords of the Nervii. So charging in, spear warriors. Oh, they're going to die quickly. Buying the skirmishers valuable time to try to get away though. Mighty horse getting attacked in the rear. Already one unit of Dacian heavy bows off the field. And the mighty horse broke. This mighty horse managed to get into the skirmishers. The spears have broken. The horse archers are getting slammed by javelins. So Nervii is doing everything, Scalp Hunter is doing everything he needs to win here, which is basically just rushing at the spears and then trying to keep some of his cavalry alive to take care of these Dacian heavy bows. So there is, I mean, if there was like an elephant for Getae or a chariot or just something that enabled them to stop Nervii from being super aggressive, I guess this build could kind of work, but it isn't advisable to try this against the Nervii as the Getae. You have the main weakness of the Nervii is that the fierce swords have very little armor, and the mighty horse, while it is decent, it is only medium melee cavalry, so not as dangerous as the heavy horse. Then we of course have the Oathsworn, but there isn't really going to be a lot of Oathsworn on the field. So I thought I'll just fast forward here. So looks like, yep, Scalp Hunter is going to take this. Just wait for the results screen to see how decisively. Okay, so for Scalp Hunter, 1200 kills, 674 kills for Getae. The 6 Dacian heavy bows, super risky. The armored spears are not going to be able to hold against an onslaught of Oathsworn. You can see the kills on the Oathsworn. The Oathsworn hardly took any damage. They were super effective in this matchup. But good game to both players. Thanks for joining the tournament. Okay, so for Getae, the noble swords are strong, but they're not quite as strong as Oathsworn. A bit weaker. However, I still think it's against the barbarian faction like the Nervii. You don't want to get away from your noble sword core. What you might want to do is you want to bring quite a lot of spear horse and bow horse, and you're going to use these units to shut down the mighty horse of the Nervii. But you do have a problem when you're trying to match up against Nervii. You don't have good speed bump units that are as good as the Levy Freemen and the Celtic Warriors. So Folksmen are decent enough units. You can bring them just to mix them into a few melee engagements, but the problem with the Folksmen is that against units like Levy Freemen and Celtic Warriors that have javelins, they're just going to evaporate so quickly. And Dacian heavy skirmishers or mercenary Thracian peltas can be an interesting choice, can be a good choice. Having them just for the general sniping effects. Some axe warriors are nice to have to mix in with your noble swords. And now you have the funds left to bring a few speed bump spears. So I think potentially something like this could have worked better. Then you have general sniping ability. You have the ability to support your cavalry fights, and you have the ability to take on the sword lines head on. The problem is that a build like this, you only really have 4 good melee units, and then you only have 4 supporting units. So you're going to have to pick and choose your engagements very wisely. You're going to have to do maximum damage with your bow horse before the engagement starts. The problem with that, of course, is the Germanic scout riders of the Nervii, so it could be an idea to screen against those with the spears, but these spears don't have javelins, so they're not as useful in that role as other units. But I still think it can absolutely be done to defeat the. If you want more axes, you can just. But I would prefer having the Thracian Peltast for the general sniping ability. Not the best matchup for Getae, but against if you had good mid-tier shock cavalry, then it could have been worth it to try a skirmish heavy build. But since you lack the support, you lack the cheap infantry support, you lack mid-tier swords, you lack even cheap swords, then it's going to be super hard for Getae to go up against the other barbarian factions unless they get a lot out of their cavalry. But that again is hard against factions that has javelin cavalry. So anyway, enough blabbering from me. Thanks for watching. Strength and honor.